Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to a new video. Just to fill you guys in, I've actually been invited by Adobe to go to Adobe Max. They're flying me out to LA and I'm going tomorrow. It was short notice, but I don't mind. And if you don't know what Adobe Max is, it's a huge creative conference. I think it's the world's biggest creative conference filled with designers and people who work in the design industry. And there's loads of new software and things in there that I'm ready to get my hands on. And as you guys may know, it is the year of me traveling. So that means that I've done a lot of traveling this year as well as last year, but this year it's been a lot. So that means I've had to carry about all my work gear with me because I'm normally working and traveling at the same time. Now, a question that I get every time when I'm traveling is, what do you take with you to travel? Like, what work things do you take? Do you take a laptop? Do you take your iPad? Do you take everything? Do you take your Mac? What do you take? But if you know me, I like to take a lot with me when I'm on holiday or when I'm going on a work trip like to Adobe Max in LA. So I'm going to show you everything that I bring with me. Number one, the most important thing that I need to take with me for my personal life, but not only that, for my work and communication, is my iPhone. Recently, I just bought the new iPhone XS Max and it is a huge phone. I like huge screens on things so I can see content bigger. I really bought it because I can see Instagram images bigger and YouTube images in a larger scale, which helps me appreciate more what I'm doing, but also because my wife wanted my old 10. Without the iPhone, I wouldn't be able to get onto my emails, to Facebook, to Instagram, YouTube. I wouldn't be able to check my money, my payments, my invoices. You can literally do everything off your phone nowadays, and it's not as good as a laptop, but if you didn't have a laptop with you at the time, it's really good to maybe jot down some ideas or even just to get someone's email on there or to check on payments and to always be available. Now, this being said, that does not mean I'm always connected to my phone. I also do have my Apple Watch, which tells me the time, but I'm not always looking at it. So what I normally do is when I'm away is I turn it on to do not disturb. So whenever I'm having a meaningful conversation in like Adobe Max or wherever I am, I just turn it off or put it on there so no one can disturb me or invade my time when I'm there. Now, obviously the iPhone is a given, and so is this next one, which is a laptop or a MacBook Pro. In January, before I went to America, I actually bought myself a MacBook Pro just beforehand in the airport before flying to New York City, and it was a great decision because it allowed me to do work whilst I was there. And of course I did have a laptop before, which was the previous generation of MacBook, but it didn't really render or edit video very well. So for me, being someone who does YouTube videos and has to edit videos as well as be on Illustrator with client work or on Photoshop with client work or just sending random emails or just checking videos, I have to have a laptop that is able to handle video footage at least in 4K. And also because I am a graphic designer that is freelance, I don't really get the time to say no to work. So in real life, I don't actually get time off. So what this means is that I either have to not take client work, or when I have got client work on and I've been asked to go to an event like Adobe Max, I have to have a means and a way of doing the same work I can do in this office as well as anywhere in the world. And that is with a powerful computer that is portable, that is also known as the MacBook Pro. This means that I use Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and every app that I could possibly use on a powerful desktop like an iMac on the go. It also lets me be more efficient and productive in when and where I do my work. It allows me to have this new sense of freedom to be able to work from anywhere and anywhere. So if you're a designer, it's probably already a given that you'll have that. Now, the next one is a bit different. I also take this camera, the thing that I'm looking at now, which is the Canon 6D Mark II with a few different lenses. Now, obviously, if you're creating YouTube content and you plan to create YouTube content and you're a YouTuber, then you'll take your camera with you when you go on a work trip like this, because that's one of the main objectives, is to get some cool footage of you doing stuff. But why am I saying this to designers? Well, I take my camera with me so I can actually take videos or footage or pictures or whatever of textures. If you're in Photoshop a lot and you use different brushes, having a camera that can take high quality pictures of brush strokes or even high quality pictures of certain textures in the environment enables you to create some pretty cool textures in Photoshop or Illustrator to use in your work. But if you are a YouTuber or someone who does a lot of filmmaking or someone who just wants to vlog like what I'm doing right now, then this camera works really well because it's got a flippy out screen. It's not too big, it's an SLR, so you've got a big bulk in your hand, but you're able to get some really decent quality footage out of it. The next thing that I always bring with me anywhere I go is an SSD. Gone are the days where we have like hard drives that are spinning wheeled and they've got mechanical movements in them. Nowadays we're all about SD cards and solid state drives. An SSD is a hard drive. I've got the MacBook Pro SSD, which is a 1TB edition. It is an amazing lifesaver to me in my business. Having an SSD allows me to back up everything that I'm doing on the go onto my SSD. It also allows me to put all my footage, personally for me, all of my footage onto that SSD. For instance, today I was trying to get my boarding passes and some of the documents that I need to travel from one place to another, and I use my SSD as a backup place to put them. In case I lost something along the way, I would always have some sort of backup, whether that's on my laptop, my phone, my watch, or my SSD. If you're a YouTuber or a video content creator, filmmaker, whatever, having an SSD to put your video on and to edit from is going to allow you to edit faster. What I love about SSDs is that they're really small now and you get like a terabyte of data on them. So you've got a lot of room to work with. It doesn't matter how much video footage you take when you're in LA or wherever you are, you can put all of that on the SSD and it makes life a lot easier for anyone who's actually working in the creative industry. I've actually got a video coming out about why I use an SSD so much, so stay tuned with that. But I use an SSD mainly for the comfort that my work is actually safe and secure in an SSD or a hard drive somewhere else that's not on the cloud, that's not on my laptop, but it's in somewhere else. Having multiple backups of things is always good, especially when you're working with like client work that is important to keep. The next item that I bring with me abroad now is actually a gimbal. I'm going to be taking the DJI Ronin S. The DJI Ronin S is a one-handed gimbal that I use with my camera to take some really steady shots. It allows you to create really cool cinematic sequences on the camera really easily. Anyone can just pick it up and go for it, including my wife, who I just give it to take video footage of me, which you will see when I'm in Adobe Max. This is very specific to me and my job as being a YouTuber, but if you're someone who is doing video content creation abroad, then the Ronin S is actually probably the best option to go for in gimbal because of its lightweight and portability. Normally gimbals are like huge and they're massive, they're like this big and you've got to like take them with you and dismantle them and stuff, but the Ronin S is just one stick, quite small, not too much worry about it. You just take it with you in your backpack and you're all good. Now the most important thing that I take with me, and this is in two versions, is a sketchbook. There have been so many times that I've been away without my sketchbook, even 10 minutes away in town, where I get an idea where I want to write it down or draw it, mainly draw, and I don't have my sketchbook with me. Now when I'm away in a different country, I always find myself being more inspired by things and getting these weird new ideas, and that is because I'm away in a new country and my brain is like coming up with these different crazy ideas, whether it's for YouTube or logo design or a piece of artwork that I'm making. You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you've got to take these ideas and write them or draw them down. Now obviously you could take a sketchbook with you with a bunch of pencils and pens and whatever, but nowadays I normally take a sketchbook that is normal, like an analog sketchbook, and an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil. So the second part of taking a sketchbook with you is, if you've got an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil, take it with you. Don't be afraid to take it. You don't have to be on it all the time. Having this allows me to do some crazy work without needing a scanner when I'm away. I can literally draw in Procreate or Adobe Sketch or whatever, and I can actually just upload that to my laptop and use that as a file to do more work in Adobe Photoshop or in Illustrator. If you don't know, I'm a hand lettering artist and a logo designer, so I do a lot of my drawings on the iPad Pro, which is digital drawing, and that is because I don't like the idea of, you know, having to erase or getting rid of a piece of content, and also I don't like the idea of having to actually scan things in. Having an iPad makes it a lot easier to get your work in there, as well as getting your work professionally made on the laptop. The iPad Pro is basically a computer or an illustrative system that allows you to create amazing sketches or amazing paintings in whatever medium you want to in such a small form factor, but big enough to draw in. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down below. If you were going to go on holiday, or if you are going on holiday or a work trip, let me know what you bring down below in the comment section down below. And a huge shout out to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. FreshBooks is an online accounting service that allows you to create invoices and to gather up all your expenses and to get paid even faster than you normally would. I've been using FreshBooks for like nearly 2 years now, and I can honestly say that I have actually been paid faster. I think the best part about it is that, one, even though I can gather my invoices and expenses and send invoices easily, I can actually see when a client has viewed my invoice, which is crazy. When you do that, it allows you to have a bit more control into letting the client know that you know that they've seen it, so they should pay up. And if you're worried whether a client doesn't know how to use FreshBooks, it's okay, because you can actually send an invoice to them. They don't need an account with FreshBooks. They can pay directly through the invoice, which in turn gets you paid even faster. If you don't believe me, or you just want to have a little go with it, FreshBooks are giving you 30 days completely free, risk-free, to try them out. So click that link down below in the description to get 30 days of FreshBooks for completely free, and also let them know that I sent them to you. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please press that red subscribe button, and because YouTube are being a bit weird with the notifications for subscriptions, press that notification bell down below. When you press that notification bell, it just lets you guys know exactly when I'm uploading a video, so you never miss an upload like this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you soon. Goodbye.